Hi, everybody. I have not been on YouTube in a long time for a lot of reasons, primarily because they didn't like my content, and I got tired of being censored. So I just wanted to take a minute to let you guys know I am doing my teaching still. I'm on Rumble. You can pull up comeministry.com and you can find all the teachings you may have missed if you were a subscriber to me on YouTube. I'm going to see if I can go back and do some recordings on YouTube and see how long it lasts. I stopped because I was getting cut off after about 7 minutes. So I don't know that I'll be here longer than that. But I did want to just kind of re-emphasize what I shared on Rumble today. Just a portion of it. Again, I'd rather you will watch the whole teaching. But this is important. I ask that you ask the Father, for those of you who pray, ask the Father that America can get a Ziklag recovery. You can read the story of David in Ziklag in chapter 30 of First Samuel, and it talks about when the Amalekites took everything and David pursued God and said, should I go after them? And God said, yes, and you will fully recover. And I think that we are in a position, as long as we stay humble and obedient to God, I think that we are in a position that we too can get a recovery. When you go in and you read it, it says that it was from the least to the greatest. And I mentioned that. I said, everything, if they stole grandma's heirlooms, they were intact. If they stole the wedding ring, it was still there. It was from the least to the greatest that God recovered everything for David and his men. And I think we are in a prime opportunity here as a body of Christ, as a body of believers. I think that we have a real opportunity to go in and seek the Lord and say, Father, can we recover all? I referenced an article on the Marshall Report that I will post on my Telegram channel. You can find that if you go on Telegram and subscribe to Zechariah 2:5, which is our prayer group, you will find it. But this is a fantastic article, and I won't go into all the details, just you can read it, you can watch it on Rumble, but it goes into many of the details of things that are being uncovered. And this is one of my favorite of the whole article, is this illustration. You see that. You see that octopi, that octopus, that tentacles that are happening. And what you see is it's telling you that with Doge uncovering a lot of where our money has been going, these are all the connections. You see who's the ringleader. These are all the connections. This is what your taxpayer money has been funding. According to just this, and this is one little tiny piece in this article and one little tiny piece in my teaching. Please make sure you look at both. Open society activists, universities, colleges, corrupt district attorneys, education systems, election fraud, the WEF, the WHO, CDC, Justin Trudeau, Ukraine, the EU, the color revolution, the entertainment industry, pornography, child trafficking, voting machines, American Democrats, BLM, Antifa, all that you were funding. And I talk about that on my Rumble about, how all these, thugs are us and riders on standby were available to show up in places within hours of an event. Who was funding for that? How these people have the money and the time to just be able to get across country on a dime and go riot and go burn down somebody else's private business or home. Don't you have a life? Apparently, they were thugs for hire. And you help fund all this madness. You help pay for your own destruction. Talks about, I showed this, Angelina Jolie. She got $20 million to go over there and create sympathy for Zelensky. Remember, we didn't know Zelensky from a hole in the wall. Why? Because he was a comedian. He was a cross-dressing comedian in Ukraine. No one knew who he was until they picked him in casting and said, you will do as a president of a country. And because no one knew who he was, they paid various celebrities from Hollywood to fly over there and be his his shtick, his right-hand guy, and say, oh, you got to support him. Look what's happening. All these bad things happening. All this stuff is getting uncovered, guys. All this stuff is coming out. Pray for Trump's protection. Pray for Pam Bondi's protection. She wants to uncover. Why were 76-year-old women put in jail for praying? Why were mothers of a young child put in jail as to be made an example of for praying? Why was somebody who was not even in the city of DC sentenced to 22 years for being an insurrectionist on January 6th? Why is someone who was in a hotel room also sentenced? They weren't even on the Capitol grounds.